the two acknowledgement receipts, both in the name of Milky Sikuya, same po pinirmahan on the same day, same address in Zambales, and using the same pen, however, have totally different signatures. Did the person who signed this receipt suddenly forget how they signed in the middle of the same day? There were 3 different acknowledgement receipts in the name of Alice Crescencio. Pinirman niya, nung inuna, nasa Pasay City siya. Pangalawa, pumirma siya, nasa Iligan City, sa Mindanao. At doon po sa ang aking probinsya, sa Lanao del Sur. Sina Miss Sally at si Miss Sheila. Isa lang po ang pirma nila.
Enzo Recto, kalaban ang katiwalian at kasinungalingan, kakampi sa katotohanan at kabutihan.
Mr. Chair, it's very clear, Mr. Chair, kung titingnan po natin ng dates doon sa covered nung request of the confidential funds with that of the acknowledgement receipt na natanggap po natin, mukhang bogus po at fictitious po itong mga confidential funds, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, my staff was also able to find acknowledgement receipts in different names, but the strokes o yung sinasabi po nating pagkasulat ng kanilang mga signatures signatures ito were identical. Dalawang different persons but the same identical strokes of signatures. Incidentally, Mr. Chair, these were all done on March of 2023. Moreover, Mr. Chair, the signatures all bear the same figure, done to 2 or 3 times. It's hard to believe, Mr. Chair, that such common signatures would appear like this. I admit that I'm not an expert in this kind of analysis, unlike those at the NBI, kasi sila naman po incompetent gumawa nito na examination. But based on what I know, Mr. Chair, these coincidences are too hard to ignore. In any event, Mr. Chair, ito pong committee na ito ay pinapasuri po natin yan sa NBI to make sure that these signatures are signed by the same person. Titingnan niyo mo po yan sa monitor, the same strokes, different persons. We also found out, Mr. Chair, that 2 acknowledgement receipts, both in the name of Milky Sikuya, both had done on the same day. Same po pinirmahan on the same day, same address in Zambales, and using the same pen. However, have totally different signatures. Tingnan niyo po, magkakaiba. The same day, the same date, same name, but different signatures. Tanong ko po, Mr. Chair, did the person who signed this receipt suddenly forget how they signed in the middle of the same day? Nagkamali ho siya, nakapirma pala siya, tapos pipirma ulit ng isang acknowledgement receipt. Di mo ba, pag nakareceive ka na, hindi ka na ako magpipirma at hindi ka naman mag-receive ng isang another acknowledgement or payment? It could have been acceptable, Mr. Chair, if there was merely a small variance between the signatures. Although, as we can see, these 2 signatures are wholly different from each other. Which only leads to the conclusion, Mr. Chair, that whoever made this ARs was not actually this Milky Sikuya. This is truly mind-boggling, Mr. Chair, to say the least. Another, Mr. Chair, another character who we found is a certain Alice Crescencio. There were 3 different acknowledgement receipts in the name of one Alice Crescencio, submitted by the Department of Education in her name. Tatlo po yan na acknowledgement receipts from the same agency, Department of Education, bearing the same name. However, Mr. Chair, similar to our friend, tandaan niyo po si Kokoy Villamin na na-present po natin nung previous hearing. Similar to our friend Kokoy Villamin, Mr. Chair, there were 3 different signatures. Kapansin-pansin din po rito, Mr. Chair, na si Miss Alice, was apparently, according to these ARs, were in different parts of the Philippines. Pinirman niya, nung inuna, nasa Pasay City siya. Pangalawa, pumirma siya, nasa Iligan City, sa Mindanao. At doon po sa ang aking probinsya, sa Lanao del Sur. Pumirma din ho siya doon. Baka nandun din siya according to the acknowledgement receipt. So, itong pangalan po ito, Mr. Chair, it leaves a very questions, no? Kaya sabi ko, nanganganak ng tanong. Itong mga pangalan na po ito, Mr. Chair, ay hindi pangkaraniwan. Hindi ho natin masyadong naririnig ang Alice Crescencio. Hindi ho common name ito. Kung Maria, ano man yan, yun ang mga common name. But this is an uncommon name. And the chances are, what are the chances, Mr. Chair, that 3 different individuals, persons, have the same names and spelling? What are the chances, Mr. Chair? All receiving the same confidential funds for different purposes from the same agency, which is DepEd. Sobrang laking coincidence ito, Mr. Chair, which actually, it's a mind-boggling. Medyo po para sa akin, kung isipin po natin ito, medyo kalokohan. I'm sorry to use the term po. Medyo kalokohan na po ito. The more likely explanation na gusto ko pong isipin ay itong mga tagapirma o tagagawa nitong mga ARs na ito ay hindi coordinated. Baka hindi ko sila nag-coordinate and they fail to probably overlook the possibility that they may use the same name. No, signing 3 different ARs from 3 different locations bearing gamit ang isang pangalan, which is, in this case, Alice Crescencio. Mr. Chair, pero hindi po dyan nagtatapos ang mga kababalaghan ang nakikita natin sa acknowledgement receipts. Mr. Chair, it is also these representations. It's my privilege and honor, Mr. Chair, to introduce to you sina Miss Sally at si Miss Sheila. Magkakaibang pangalan po ito, Mr. Chair, at malamang magkakaibang tao. Kaya nga po sila magkaibang pangalan. Pero ano po ang kapansin-pansin, Mr. Chair? At ano ang napapansin natin rito sa pinipirmang acknowledgement receipts nila from DepEd as seen on the screen? Isa lang po ang pirma nila, si Miss Sally at si Miss Sheila. Kabaliktaran po ito ni Kokoy Villamin. Si Kokoy, parehong pangalan pero isa ang pirma. Kabaliktaran po ni Miss Sheila at Miss Sally. Magkaibang pangalan pero parehong pirma. These are 2 different persons, Mr. Chair, from 2 different addresses, I would assume. However, they have the exact same signature with exact same strokes. At baka isang tintang ballpen ang ginamit, Mr. Chair. At magkaibang lugar, Mr. Chair. Nandito po si Manong Johnny. Taga Surigao din po siya. So it makes you think, Mr. Chair, that what are again the chances that once again, the 2 different people from Digos City and Surigao City being more than 400 kilometers away from each other, have the same exact name and the same signature. 2 people signing the same acknowledgement receipts, 2 different people signing with the same signatures in 2 different locations which are 400 kilometers apart from each other. Taga Mindanao po ako, so alam ko po yung gaano kalayo ang Digos at ang Surigao. For me, Mr. Chair, only 1 person did these acknowledgement receipts, but merely changed his handwriting style from print to script in writing, the name and the addresses, but also forgetting, Mr. Chair, probably to change the signature. Yun lang po ang aking naiisip na possible na answer. And because of this, Mr. Chair, I believe that this receipt was again merely fabricated. We have all been introduced to our new characters, Mr. Chair, si Alice, Crescencio, Milky Way, si Kuya, Sally, and Miss Sheila. But let us not also forget our original friends na pinakilala ng committee na ito. One of the stars on the issue, Mr. Chair, of the confidential fund is one Mr. Kokoy Villamin. Na-mention ko po sa inyo earlier, and this was also presented in the previous hearings. Mr. Kokoy Villamin, who happens to receive confidential funds from both the OVP and the DepEd. Kung maalala niyo po, Mr. Chair, si Mr. Kokoy Villamin ay ang isa sa mga unang napansin ng committee ito marahil sa kanyang kakaibang pangalan at sa magkaiba-ibang kanyang mga pirma. Napanood din po natin, Mr. Chair, at napanood ng committee ito ang interview kay PSA Assistant National Statistician Mariza Grande na tinitingnan nila ang pangalan niya sa kanilang records at isiniwalat niya na wala silang makitang records pertaining to Mr. Kokoy Villamin. This was brought about by the request of Congresswoman Jinky Luistro na para po ma-confirm natin na may talagang tao nito, we need to seek the assistance of PSA and NBI. Pero according sa kanila, wala po silang records na may tao pong Mr. Kokoy Villamin. According kay PSA na Assistant National Statistician na Mariza Grande. Base po sa kanilang initial na findings na ito ng PSA, mas panatag ako, Mr. Chair, na ang confidential funds na di umano'y binigay kay Mr. Villamin ay hindi talaga sa kanya napunta at hindi talaga itong totoong tao. I mean, common sense would dictate, Mr. Chair, that same name, bearing the same name, ay hindi po magkakaroon ng 2 signatures. And it reinforces our original questions kung meron po bang mga taong ganito.
Bunyog, bunyog, halikan na kasama ka. Bunyog, kapag buklod ay may pag-asa. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, isa ang pananaw. Sa bagong Pilipinas ang bunyog isisigaw.